Hey, what's up YouTube? Pallav here from nothingwired.com, and this video was long coming, but I just couldn't get time. So here we are with our top 5 list of best entry level or best budget DSLRs. Now we'll mainly consider the US market and the India market, and just to be on the same page, we check the prices on amazon.com and on amazon.in. Amazon is one of the most popular online retail store, so I thought I would just check the same store in both these countries. So for this particular 5 best DSLRs, I kept the upper limit at about 500 US dollar, 520 US dollars, or about 35 to 36,000 Indian rupee. Now remember, I have kept a buffer of about $30 or about 2,000 rupees plus minus. And number 5 is Canon 1300D. The reason it made the list is because it's the latest entry level camera from Canon. Plus it has some of the very convenient feature like Wi-Fi and NFC to connect to your phone and some of the other devices like PC. It's a very beginner friendly camera. It's just under 500 grams, so even when you're upgrading from a compact camera, you would not feel that excess weight that a typical DSLR carries. Plus it's very cheap. In the US market, by the way, it's called a Rebel T6. Now, why is it on the 5th and not maybe on the 4th or 3rd or up the ladder? That's because number 1 is that it still has an older DSLR 4 Plus processor. DSLR 4 Plus is relatively new, but still it's a 4 Plus, so it's kind of just an upgrade or just a tweak version of a very old DSLR 4 processor. It also has the same 18MP sensor. The LCD does not tilt, only has 9 autofocus system, and some of these reasons because of which it is at number 5. Number 4 is the Sony Alpha A58, and I absolutely loved it while reviewing. Now the reason it made the list is mainly because it has a very high FPS considering the price point, 8 FPS, and that's possible because of the translucent mirror technology that Sony has, which helps in achieving that very fast FPS because your mirror does not have to go up and down like some of the other typical DSLRs. Also, it has a very good focusing system. But why it's in number 4 and not in like number 3 or 2 or 1 is mainly the main reason is not enough choice of lenses for Sony, and particularly on a DX body, Sony seriously lacks some of the super telephoto lenses, some of the telephoto lenses, and maybe even some of the wide lenses that Canon or Nikon has. This is the main reason I put it at number 4, and also it's quite an old camera now. Now you already have the A68, which was just announced, but that would just go beyond our budget. Number 3 is Canon 700D or Canon EOS 700D or Rebel T5i. Now, this is probably one of the most still plus video balanced cameras among these 5 cameras. It has a 9-point autofocus system. All of them are cross type, so it's great for still photos, for tracking moving subjects. Plus it also has a hybrid CMOS autofocus system, which kind of, well, it's not exactly like the 70D or the 80D, but still it's the autofocus, the continuous autofocus is still much smoother than some of the other cameras, like let's say the 1300D of the same company, for example. Why it's not in number 2 or number 1 is, again, it has a relatively older image processing engine and relatively older 18MP sensor. Those are the main reason, because the DSLR 5 processor still does not have enough low ISO performance, and the sensor also is a pretty old sensor now, aging sensor. Number 2 is the Nikon D3300. The D3300 sits right in the front of Nikon's DSLR lineup. It's the most entry level, but the most latest one in the Nikon DSLR lineup. But despite of being the most entry level DSLR, it still has the all new X-Speed 4 image processing engine, unlike some of the Canon entry level DSLRs, for example the 1300D, which does not have the latest image processing engine. Also, it has the new 24.2MP sensor, that's some of the latest, and other the 5x or the 5XXX series uses. So despite it being an entry-level DSLR, you get the same brain, you get the same sensor, you get the same image processing engine. Also, the D3300 has more autofocus point than the 1300D or even the 700D. But all of those points are not cross-type, unlike the 700D where the autofocus points are only 9, but all are cross-type, and the center one is actually dual cross-type. It also does not have an OLPC, optical low pass filter. Now, I won't go ahead and explain what an OLPC is, but just know that OLPC, if you do not have OLPC in front of your sensor, then your images are gonna be a little sharper, but that's only in the stretch situations. That's a good thing anyway, not so much for video, but for still, definitely. Why it's number 2 and not the number 1? When we talk about the number 1, you'll understand. So the number 1 DSLR and the best entry-level DSLR, the best budget DSLR according to us, is the Nikon D5300. And first thing first, the Nikon D5300 is definitely the most expensive of all these 5 cameras, which generally is the case with all the gadgets. You get what you pay for. It's in the list, or it's number 1 in the list, mainly because it's kind of beyond an entry level. It's an entry level premium range of cameras. Even the 700D is an entry level premium range of cameras, but Nikon almost did not do any compromise, did not treat the 5300 as an entry-level camera. The D5300 has 39 autofocus points. It has the same X-Speed 4 image processing engine, the same 24.2 brand new sensor, and it also has a tilty articulating screen. Now that's one of the great thing while shooting video. Although it does not have a touchscreen. For touchscreen you have to move up to the D5500, but again that goes beyond our budget. So D5300 has all these things, kind of the most all-rounder, definitely the best still DSLR. For video, if you use a lot of manual control during video, then this is better than the 700D. But if you, let's say, would rather do the camera or the continuous autofocus system during video, then the 700D would be slightly better due to that hybrid autofocus system or hybrid CMOS autofocus system. But despite of that, the 5300 Nikon D5300 is a workhorse of a camera, and getting the body only under this price is it's a great deal. So then guys, that was our list of the top 5 best entry level or budget DSLR. And before I go, we only talked about the body only while considering the price, because obviously you can attach as expensive a lens as you can. So the Nikon D5300 for now, the best budget DSLR. Let us know what you think, whether you agree with our list, whether you have something else in your mind in the comment section down below. Next time, I think we'll bring in something under 50,000 maybe. So till then, ciao.